Hi and welcome to the next tutorial. In today's lesson we'll learn how to recreate this cool looking write-on effect using Premiere Pro. So anyways guys, let's jump in. So the first thing that we have here is I've just created a new project in Premiere Pro and I'm about to import my footage. So the first thing that you need, I'm going to be using a drone shot, but you can use really any video that you want. Just import your media to start. So once you've imported your media, for my drone shot, I will need to set the in and out points by pressing I and O on my keyboard for where I want this shot to stop. And you can see there that this clip will go for about 6 seconds. I then am going to come over here and create a new sequence. And this sequence, I'm going to use 1920 by 1080. And I'm going to run it at 24 frames. So I'm just going to press OK. Then I'm going to drag my drone sequence to the timeline. And now because my drone sequence is a 4K clip, what I need to do is I need to come back to my effect controls and I need to just scale that down to about 50%. But if you already have a clip which is at 1920 by 1080, then you don't have to do any of this stuff. But anyways, there's my clip. It's looking good. We can now move on to the next step. So the next thing that we have to do is we need to come over here and go to File, New, and then we're going to add a legacy title. So I'm just going to press OK. Now you need to download a font for this, and the font that I'm using is called Gloss and Bloom, but you can use any really handwriting font that you like. So I'm just going to put my text in there and I'm going to come over here and change my font, and I'm going to change it to Gloss and Bloom. And then I'm just going to increase the size of that. And then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to center that in the middle of that title. And so if you want to come over here and change the color as well, you can. So if you just expand that section and bring it back over here, you can change the color to there. And I recommend you changing the color to something that is a little bit more visible than white, because when we add the brush over the letters, you'll be able to see it a little bit easier. So I've got that there, and I'm just going to drag my title down onto my clip. Now nothing happens because we haven't animated anything just yet. So what I need to do is I need to create a new transparent video. Just going to press OK, and I'm going to put it on top of my text. So now what I'm going to do is on the transparent video, so I'm going to make sure that I'm on the transparent video layer. So this is my title layer, this is my transparent video layer. I'm going to look for an effect called Write On, and I'm going to put it onto that layer. Now I'm going to come over here and I'm going to change a few things. Now the brush size, I'm going to bring it down to maybe around 25, and you can see that that dot is there. Now what you want to do is you want to make sure that that size is thicker than any thickness of any parts of these characters. You don't want it to be bigger because then it might jump into the next letter, and you don't want it to be smaller because then you actually see bits as the animation unfolds. We're going to increase the brush hardness to about 100%, and we're going to change the stroke length to about 5 seconds. You can make it however long you want. And we're going to change the brush spacing to 0.001, and then we're just going to press enter. And so you might need to zoom in on this, and what you want to do is, actually I'm just going to lower the brush size to about 20 is probably all we need. And now with that and your select tool selected, now you can move it around, and I can even lower that a little bit more. Let's maybe make it like 18. And now what you want to do is you want to come to the brush position and you want to hit the stopwatch, and then you want to move this point. So you're going to have to click on Write On if you want that to be highlighted, and then you're going to have to move it, and then you're going to have to go and press right on your keyboard to move a frame over. And now you can start to move this through your lettering. So I'm just gonna keep moving it a little bit and then keep pressing the next frame button, which is the right arrow on my keyboard. And I'm just going to go through this entire letter of B. Now you don't want to touch the other letters, and you want to make sure that you always grab that circle, because if you don't, then you're just, you're making finer adjustments. So make sure that you are grabbing that part of the circle. So that's what one letter looks like. When you also try to do this, try to think the way that you are actually going to write the words. That's the way that the write-on effect will most likely appear. But sometimes it's a little bit hard. For example, with the B, some people start with this line first and then they do the curves. But in this case, I thought it was easier just to start with the curves. So anyways, I'm just gonna fast forward and do this entire section. So I'll see you in a bit. Okay, so once you've done that, then you're gonna have all of these letters that will kind of look like a bit of scribble as you scrub through your track, and that's fine. And you've got all these keyframes here. What you then need to do is you need to now go back to your effects and look for the track matte key, and you want to drag that to your text layer. Once you're on that, you need to go and open up the effects, and you want to change the matte to the video, or in my case it's video 3. But if you've done that correctly, you will see what is actually happening. The write-on effect is now working nicely. So in order to fix this up, what we need to do is we need to go back into our text layer, and we just need to change the color back to whatever color that we want. And once you've done that, now we have our nice write-on text layer. So now once you've done that, another addition that you can do is you can add some handwriting scribble effects while this effect is coming out. And finally, the last thing that we can add to it is we can come over here and we can add some drop shadow. So if we go and add some drop shadow to our title, and we come and play around with some of the settings. So let's say we increase the opacity to about 80%, and we increase the distance. And so now if I have a look at that, like let's say if I zoom in, you can see the difference that the drop shadow makes. So I think that looks pretty cool. But anyways, once you're happy with your write-on effect, you then can render it, or you can do whatever you like with it. But anyways, guys, that's a very simple, quick tutorial on how to do the write-on effect using Adobe Premiere Pro.